an interesting day today, I'll tell you. So last night on our show, I took a senator from Louisiana, Bill Cassidy. I took him to task for promising to my face that he would oppose any health care plan that allowed insurance companies to turn people with pre-existing conditions away, and any health care plan that had an annual or lifetime cap on how much they would pay out for medical care. He said anything he supported would have to pass what he named the Jimmy Kimmel test, which was fine. It was good, but unfortunately and puzzlingly, he proposed a bill that would allow states to do all the things he said he would not let them do. He made a total about-face, which means he either doesn't understand his own bill or he lied to me. It's as simple as that. So today, it was a bad morning for Senator Cassidy. He and his co-sponsor, Lindsey Graham, spent the morning defending the indefensible. This morning, the senator sat for an interview with Chris Cuomo of CNN and pulled the all comedians are dummies card. There's a new Jimmy Kimmel test for you. It's called a lie detector test. You're welcome to stop by the studio and take it anytime.
Harsh words, not apparently in jest. And joining us now is Senator Bill Cassidy. What is your response, Senator?
I'm sorry, he does not understand.
Oh, I get it. I don't understand because I'm a talk show host, right? Well, and then help me out. Which part don't I understand? Is it the part where you cut $243 billion from federal health care assistance? Am I not understanding the part where states would be allowed to let insurance companies price you out of coverage for having pre-existing conditions? Maybe I don't understand the part of your bill in which federal funding disappears completely after 2026. Or maybe it was the part where the plans are no longer required to pay for essential health benefits like maternity care or pediatric visits, or the part where the American Medical Association, the American College of Physicians, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Hospital Association, the American Cancer Society, the American Diabetes Association, the American Heart Association, Lung Association, Arthritis Foundation, Cystic Fibrosis, ALS, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, and the March of Dimes, among many others, all vehemently oppose your bill. Which part of that am I not understanding? Or could it be, Senator Cassidy, that the problem is that I do understand and you got caught with your GO penis out? Is that possible? Because it feels like it is. Now, look, I don't want to turn this into a Kanye and Taylor Swift type situation, but when Senator Cassidy was on my show in May, he told me he believed that every American family, regardless of income, should be able to get quality health care, and I believed he was sincere. Sadly, the bill he unveiled last week with Senator Lindsey Graham indicates that he was not sincere. It is, by many accounts, the worst health care bill yet. I have a clip that I hope will make what happened with Senator Cassidy easier to understand. This is from last night's Yankees game. So, Senator Cassidy, he made a pitch that looked to be pretty good at first, but then it took a dangerous turn and hit us right in the nuts. That's what happened. You see? So, got a lot of nice tweets, words of support today from people, from a lot of sick and disabled people who are worried about their access to health care being cut off. But I also got some words that were not so nice, particularly from our friends at Fox and Friends.
Sunday's politically charged Emmys may have been the lowest rate in history, but that's not stopping Hollywood elites like comedian Jimmy Kimmel for pushing their politics on the rest of the country. Watch.
Thanks, Brian. That was Brian Kilmeade. And the reason I found this comment to be particularly annoying is because this is a guy, Brian Kilmeade, who whenever I see him, kisses my ass like a little boy meeting Batman. Oh, he's such a fan. I think he's been to the show. He follows me on Twitter. He asked me to write a blurb for his book, which I did. He calls my agent looking for projects. He's dying to be a member of the Hollywood elite. The only reason he's not a member of the Hollywood elite is because nobody will hire him to be one. And, you know, the reason I'm talking about this is because my son had an open heart surgery and has to have 2 more. And because of that, I learned that there are kids with no insurance in the same situation. I don't get anything out of this, Brian, you phony little creep. Oh, I'll pound you when I see you. That is my blurb. That will be my blurb for your next book. Brian Kilmeade is a phony little creep. That's right. This is another good one. Guess who else weighed in with his opinion of me?
Governor Christie, you come down on the Jimmy Kimmel side of the Cassidy-Kimmel
don't say that.
smackdown.
No.
But you're opposed to the bill.
No. I don't come down the Jimmy Kimmel side, but I'm not in favor of the bill.
Is to provide health care for people with pre-existing conditions.
Listen, I'm not going to get into Jimmy Kimmel. He's not a serious person.
I'm not as serious. I never got my head stuck in a bucket of fried chicken. Okay? Say, I'm not a serious person. Actually, you know what? In this case, Chris Christie is allowed to make fun of me. From him, I deserve it. And to be completely honest, I did once get my head stuck in a bucket of fried chicken. I also got a scolding today from Senator Lindsey Graham, who's the co-sponsor of this terrible new health care bill. Senator Graham told reporters that what I said last night was garbage. He lashed out at me for not calling Senator Cassidy before I went on the air, I guess to give him a chance to lie to me again over the telephone. But I'm not going to attack Lindsey Graham for two reasons. Number one, he's one of the few Republicans who stands up to Donald Trump. And number two, Lindsey Graham happens to look a lot like my grandma Jane, who is now deceased. So I have a soft spot for him. I love you, Grandma Lindsay. I don't care what you say. Meanwhile, President Trump is desperate to do away with Obamacare. He's mad at Rand Paul for going against it. Today, he tweeted, "Rand Paul is a friend of mine, but he is such a negative force when it comes to fixing health care. Graham-Cassidy bill is great, ends Obamacare." That's all he cares about, it ends, because there's no way President Trump read this bill that he says is great. He just wants to get rid of it because Obama's name is on it. The Democrats should just rename it Ivanka Care. Guaranteed he gets on board. Can you imagine Donald Trump actually sitting down to read a health care bill? It's like trying to imagine a dog doing your taxes. It just doesn't compute, you know? But I don't necessarily blame him. I did more homework this week than all my years of college combined. This health care bill, it's confusing, especially for those people who aren't experts in the field. So to make it simpler, I wanted to take a moment to boil it down in a special edition of Barista Theater, okay? Here we are in a coffee shop, and this is my barista. Go right ahead.
Hi there, what can I get you?
I'd like a black coffee, please.
Oh, sure thing. Your name?
My name is Jimmy. J-I-M-M-Y.
All righty. There you go, that'll be $3.50.
What are you doing? What was that?
You asked for a black coffee.
Yeah, but it's all over the table.
Oh, sir, I'm sorry you don't understand. I provided you with coffee. Now it's up to the individual cup to decide whether you get it or not.
What the hell are you talking about? A cup is a cup.
Is it, though? We believe each cup is capable of making its own decision on whether to hold coffee or not.
But your job is to serve coffee. Shouldn't I for sure be able to drink it?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, no. Putting bottoms on all the cups would be too expensive. So anyway, that'll be $3.50. Timmy.
Well, I'm not paying it. It's Jimmy, by the way, and this is exhausting. I want no part of this at all.
You're exhausted?
Yes.
That's a pre-existing condition. Your new total is $387.50.
That's ridiculous. I'm not paying $387.50.
Ridiculous. Actually, it is adequate and affordable.
You know what? I'll just go to another coffee place. Thank you.
This is how all coffee shops are now. If you want your coffee in a cup, go to Canada.
Fine. You know what? Their president is cuter anyway. And scene. There you go. All right, one more thing, and then we will move on from this, I promise. At the end of my monologue last night, I encouraged people who care about the subject to call their senators to let them know they care. I even gave out a phone number. Now, this video of the monologue has millions and millions of views. It was all over the news. A lot of people have seen it and shared it, but the New York Times today contacted the office of Susan Collins, who's one of the key senators on this, and they claimed at her office that the call volume she got is the same as usual. Now, if that is true, this is why things like this keep happening, because we don't do anything about them. So please stop texting for 5 seconds and make a phone call, especially call these senators. These are their numbers right there on the screen. If you live in one of these states, Call them. It really does make a difference. And who knows, maybe you'll meet somebody over the phone and fall in love. You don't know what's going to happen, all right? Okay. I am Jimmy Kimmel. If you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe. And if you don't click subscribe, this invisible hamster will die.